Hello, welcome to the Aquarian Mind podcast. Today's podcast episode number 374. I'm your host, Jamel Crothers. It's Wednesday Motivation and Inspiration, and today we're delving into persistence and priorities. So yes, this is going to be a solid episode today. So let's get into it. Now, never giving up is something that not many people have in them. There's a persistence in them to keep going no matter the obstacles and the adversity that they may face. Now, nothing is going to stop them from becoming what they want to be and are meant to be. Now, persistence becomes this consistent thing that is built in a person. Could that be you? Are you in the middle of a journey right now where you are always pushing towards something? Like you just know any day, any week or month, you will start seeing results for all of the hard work you've done for so long. Yeah, I bet you can relate to what I am pretty much saying at this exact moment. And you're rubbing your hands together right now because there's someone who can relate to what you're thinking, processing, and experiencing. You always meet people who get it and totally understand where you come from. Now, that could be friends, it could be family members, it can be outside people that you come across and meet in life. And I will admit that within the past, I would say year or two, I'm starting to meet people who, have that persistence and they're prioritizing a lot of aspects of their lives. They are prioritizing their health. They are prioritizing, their mental, their physical, their emotional, their spiritual parts of themselves. They're putting more time and effort into themselves more than, other people and, what the world tells them to be, right? And I think that is a huge component to life. Yeah, you can be persistent, but you have to prioritize a lot of things in your life. It's even, not keeping certain people around, right? Like, certain friends can't stay, in your life because they don't fit into like where you're going in life, or family members that don't respect boundaries and, don't respect you as a person. People that are not cheering for you in your journey of life and where you're going. You never know, who is not happy for you until you see certain results in what you're doing. It could be a weight loss journey, it could be changing careers, it can be pursuing a passion, it could be changing the way you think and the way you process things and how you see life. And certain people don't like that because they like where you are because you're on their level, right? But as you ascend and as you arise, things start to change, right? Now, once the persistence is there, the next component of it, is always the priorities, which I pretty much just, went over. And that you can't always go out with friends or always binge watch every TV show that you have saved on Netflix or Hulu or any other app that you have, because you have work to do. And that you have to sacrifice the fun to get a little work done, right? And that could be the internal work of just who you are as a person sometimes, right? You need to have that alone time where you don't want people around you. No matter how small or big the task is, you're prioritizing that over pretty much goofing around and wasting time. And it's not to say that you shouldn't have fun and enjoy yourself, but you have to know your limits. And if you spent a week having fun, now you have to make up time a little bit and get to work, right? And the work just has to get done. An example of this is, going out with friends and doing various things, sports games, hanging out at the pool, going out to eat, going to the movies, whatever it is, right? Go out to a bar, go drinking. And then the next week comes and you're not making the work that you're supposed to be doing a priority, right? Now you're slacking off. Now it's, I'll get to it tomorrow. I'll get to it the next day. And the next day, and 1 week becomes 2 weeks, becomes 3 weeks. And this is what I mean where you have to have a balance of things. Knowing when to enjoy life, but also saying I need to take care of these things to get to where I want to be. It's taking a week off from the gym and then the next week you don't want to go back, and then 1 week starts adding up to 2, and then after a while, you know how it goes, right? And that's why I always say health is wealth. So what I want you to think about right now is how persistent are you in wanting to ascend to where you want to be in life, right? Like, have you taken the time to write down just short-term goals? Don't even think about long-term goals right now. In this moment, as you are listening to me on this podcast, what are your short-term goals? Take a moment and think. Is it going to the gym consistently, right? Okay, cool, great. That's a short-term goal, right? Just let's get in the gym twice a week. Okay, great. Another goal, eating healthier, right? Okay, how many times a week are you going out to eat? If it's more than twice, okay, now it's time to start prioritizing. Okay, let's not do that. Let's not do that as much, right? Let's say you want to focus on changing your career, right? You're stuck in a rut right now. You're sinking in quicksand at the job you're at. Okay, where do you want to go and where do you want to shift? Because I'm in that phase currently, right? I've been in the customer service space close to 15 years. So I've done the face-to-face customer service. I've done the behind the scenes, like on the phones. And now I'm trying to shift out of that, right? I'm trying to change that narrative and that focus, right? And if you know my story, in 2016, I finally took writing as something that was, something that was more than just fun. So I became persistent and prioritized me writing and, doing the books. And then I turned it into writing blogs, and then I turned it into a podcast, right? So while I would love to get into this writing space, let's just say the market is the market. I won't delve into it, right? But my point is that, I am persistent in what I'm trying to do for myself, right? Now, did I go on a hiatus with the podcast? Yes. Did I need that break? For sure. I was going at it constantly, week after week, month after month, year after year. And to be in year 5 of being persistent with this podcast, it's a beautiful thing. But let's make sure that the persistence to be great is there, along with prioritizing your life. And you know yourself better than anyone else, right? Or at least you should know yourself well enough, right? To know that when, you're not doing what you should be doing, that it's time to, take a step back and realize that all the work that you've done previously has to continue now. And remember, you determine how far you will go in life, right? Putting in the work will always lead to results. I'm going to tell you that again. Putting in the work will always lead to results. The problem with, us a lot of times is we put in the work and we expect the results right away. We have this impatience that grows within us a lot of times. And I'm guilty of it. And I'm working on, getting better at it. So if you're an impatient person, just think that the amount of time and the amount of effort and the patience, it's going to lead to bigger things. And sometimes slower is better. And sometimes going down a different road than where everyone else is going is worth it too. I decided to go down a different road and a different path, and it's benefited me in a lot of ways. So just know that if I've done it, you surely can do it yourself. And remember, persistence and priorities is what's going to matter in the long run. And I always say consistency and discipline, showing up on an everyday basis for yourself, is going to go a long way too. And with that said, that's my podcast for today. I thank you for listening. As always, be good and go accomplish your goals.